Well, lads, book 2 concluded today. What do we think?
Well, I thought it was a really solid day. Steve set the tone early in the day. It was a strong start.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this sale for a number of years, guy. I got to say, the drop-off just wasn't there today.
Yeah.
It just carried on. Yeah. Clearance rate was good competition. The tables were full. It's a credit to whoever got them here, because I tell you, it was a great buying bench. Yeah.
It was interesting, hey, because I thought it was as busy as it has ever been for book 2. At the start of book 2 today at 12 o'clock, which I think, and personally for mine, looking back on when we talked about the structure of this sale early on in the piece and getting book 2 right this year, I think the format's really good now with the 4 days of book 1 and the 1 day of selling on the Sunday.
Yeah, I think it worked very well. The vendors received it well, that they had their horses all in here to parade Friday, Saturday, had this morning to parade them as well. But, just the vibe and the new faces and the new names on the results sheet over the day, I think it was, a new influx of buyers, and, they really supported the sale at the middle to lower end.
I noticed that too, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, talking to the vendors today, they were smashed on Friday. When the sale was going on Friday, those horses that were in today were getting inspected then. It was great, very good.
And I think it carried over into Saturday as well, prior to the races, which is really good. I think Saturday morning was really busy. It felt I think there were a few hangovers this morning. And then it got really busy come about 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah, and, the numbers today are great. Like, we've got a gross of over 9.2 million, a clearance rate of over 83%. And,
that's enormous for this session.
83% is great. And I think, by the time you look at the results in 48 hours, it's probably going to be at 85% or something. There'll be plenty of past-in lots done, and a really healthy average that's, in the mid-50s. So,
which is up on year to year, which is great.
Yeah. All in all, to have 140 less horses and to have a really solid day, a healthy sale, I think it's a good format. It's solid, and it really ends the sale well.
Did you notice it up there, Steve?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
You stand up here, having done the first four days, and the place is packed. I got up here this morning, and geez, I tell you what, it's about the same number of tables full. Yeah. So it was good, and it flowed on. I mean, as you say, the first session we got them away, and it starts. Off it goes.
Absolutely. Well, I think it did carry on through the first session, didn't it? But it's been a great week overall, Baz, hasn't it? All the way through to selling days.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the sale itself's clearing nearly 87%. So for 1,220 lots. Yeah.
Mate, as an auctioneer, I don't give a damn about top prices, averages, and things. For me, clearance rates is the key. Because
he's lying.
No.
He loves to say the sale top up.
I may have done that. But no, honestly, the clearance rate's the key, because what's the point of having a $5 million yearling if you only sold 2% of the, what I'm saying,
100%.
80%, 87%, you got happy buyers, happy sellers.
Yeah.
Everybody was, it works so well. I tell you, I've been coming here a number of years, as we all have, really. I reckon this year, the best carnival.
Yeah, amazing. So, have 5 days of selling, a gross of over 212 million. It's a huge week for us, and it's a huge week for these vendors that bring their best stock into the Gold Coast and trust us with them. And credit to Dane, he puts a lot of work into this catalogue, and another year and the team, exactly. And, for another year, it's been a very, very successful week, and a lot of happy vendors and a lot of happy buyers.
Yeah, I tell you one other aspect that, goes on behind the scenes, which, we've got a couple of staff working on the past-in horses.
Oh, yeah, the girls, Tabitha and Annie this year, they've been a huge addition to the team. And, I was going back through the sold after pass-in, and the rates, it's great. Like, it's just there's activity on them, and we were quick to action them. And I think, it's all well and good. Ideally, you want to sell in the ring. Yeah. That's the number one goal, is to sell in the ring. But it doesn't happen all the time, obviously, but the minutes after are so important, and to be on it and to have people waiting to go and create that little bit of urgency, I think it's really paid dividends this week. So, but I think, you look at the 2 weeks that it's been really leading into it, the Saturday prior to the first day of selling, I really think that sets a real tone for the whole week. The Gold Day really sets a tone, and I think it's a big springboard into next year as well.
Yeah, I think Magic Millions Gold's, we've spoken about it a few times this week, but it's got a huge future. Over $7 million in prize money, an unbelievable setting to have a night meeting in, and to get primetime Channel 7, huge wagering outcomes. It was just
because it was more year to year, wasn't it? It is way more this year.
Huge. It was nearly a $50 million wagering day, which is massive. Viewership was huge, but that really kicked us off into obviously the Pacific Fair Polo and show jumping, which was a fun day.
Now, I spoke to Katie, and I said, I got to say, from that race meeting into the polo, into the racing up the beach, it just flowed. It works so
it really
well.
does. I think the start, the Gold Race Day on the Saturday, and rolling from there, it's got a real carnival feel to it now from the start to finish.
Yep. But you know from the barrier draw was unbelievable. Like, it was an unbelievable morning. It was fun. It was vibey, to see those beautiful horses running on the beach. But what really took my breath is when I walked back in here at 10 o'clock after the barrier draw. There was an hour before the sale started and the stand was full.
I haven't seen the bleachers full like that.
I tell you, the other thing that got me for the sale was the queue for lunch. I tell you what, that was vibey. They were queuing up a quarter of an hour before.
I got to tell you, there was more people walking to the buffet than we had seats in this.
The extra wristbands getting handed out.
How many crayfish went?
Oh my God! We had to get a few extra bid spotters up there just to make sure people weren't losing bids between the lunch crowd. But a huge week overall. But I think again the clearance rate comes back for mine.
And what about yesterday? Like, $13 million in prize money. Yeah. Some unbelievable results. Some of the best racing you'll see, and to see an $80,000 yearling win the Magic Millions. Great fairy tale story. But all in all, I think it's hard to pick a highlight for this week because there's been so many of them.
The spread of buyers spending $1 million or more at the sale was incredible. It wasn't dominated by one person. There were people stepping in from all areas.
Yeah, the volume of buyers was unbelievable. At all levels. I thought good, very, very genuine, and to think that the horses around yesterday for that big money. We've got Tasmania. We've got Perth back here for March, which we're really excited about. Adelaide into June, that are all eligible for these races. So the likelihood of finding a horse that can run in the race next year is still real.
Absolutely, it's still real. And mate, the prize money, the best thing, they're coming back year after year.
Yeah, I love the first season size though. Already, we're talking about Jackanos. Jackanos. We knew about the Animos. That were always about the Jackanos in the Congos.
The Congo was having a great sale.
Great sale. Really good.
The Fondo, they were very well sought after. Yep.
But overall, really good. And I think, but if there's a takeaway from the whole week, boys, what's the one thing?
Clearance rate. I think you said it. I think for me the clearance rate, because that to me is the key of a successful sale.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the vibe and the fun and just the hecticness of this place was something really cool. And I think that's something that Magic Millions does better than anywhere else. That we get a big crowd here, we get a great vibe, we give these trainers and syndicators the best opportunity to engage with the most amount of people they possibly can in this sales ring.
I agree. Well, all one and done for another year.
Why don't we do it in Perth?
We could
go next. That's where we go next.
We're going to Perth next, on the road show. The travelling road show starts now. So, but a big week, guys. Massive thanks, obviously, to Steve coming over, Barry, as always, leader of the ship, and all the team as well from Magic Millions. A big thanks to everyone. So, big week, guys, and we look forward to doing it all again.
Yep. No, thank you to everyone that plays a part. Whether you're a security guard, work behind the bar, the transport companies, the leaders. There's so many people that make this sale very, very special, and everyone plays a part brilliantly. And it's been an unbelievable week. So we thank everyone for their participation and efforts.